The good news is that because you are here, you're actually seeing into the future. You're seeing where business is going. The great Wayne Gretzky said that people asked him, "How do you always manage to get the puck in the goal?" He replied, "Because I'm not hitting where the puck's at, I see where it's going, and that's where I hit it." It's the same thing. You are here today because you see where business is, where it's going in the future. It's a new concept that we call sync. And it's the future of how online businesses will happen. Okay, so what is sync? It's the basis. It comes from the same kind of concept of how quickly integration becomes very complicated very quickly. So if I know that when I want to make a sync that is so simple that there's only one thing to integrate, so I'm going to make a sync where we deal with one thing. I don't want to confuse the project. I want to have one thing to sync. Now I'm going to go further and tell you that with integration projects, your mind might be swirling in circles, but I'm going to make this one sync, this one thing we're going to sync, and I'm going to make it even simpler. How am I going to do that? I'm going to break this down for you to keep it simple and logical. In our sync, we only talk about one direction at a time. What does that mean? Well, it means we're only going to talk about one sync in one direction only. And I'm going to start with the ERP to the CRM, that direction. And I'm going to call it phase one. Why? Why your ERP accounting system, which has your past, present, and future in it? You need that data in your CRM. Usually, customers we talk with will think of integration in the wrong direction. When they first think of integration, they will often focus on the direction of the CRM to the ERP. Why do they do that? Usually it's because they're super focused on setting up a new CRM or e-commerce system, and they're making new records in the system, and they're focused on getting those out of the CRM or e-commerce and into the ERP. That's all good, but I can tell you that it's the wrong first step to take when thinking of an integration. We have a quick win strategy that'll help you reorganize your thoughts into clear and manageable processes so that you can sleep easily knowing that it doesn't have to be complicated if you follow our lead. You see, the reason why the number one rule of integration is that it gets complicated very quickly is because people aren't following a process, but now with sync, you can do that. I'm going to package up all of these simple syncs for you into a nice bundle and put a bow on it. Think of each sync as a simple, shiny Lego block. And each of these Lego blocks are the same. They're the same exact shape and they click together perfectly. Only the color of the blocks is different. There'll be no special shaped blocks. They'll be all uniform and they'll click together the same way. And like those Lego kits you buy for your kids, they come with the exact number of blocks you need and they all fit together to make the Lego car or Lego house perfectly. We call this sync the quick win sync, and I will get into that. The quick win sync is where I wrap it all up and put the bow on it for you. So I'm going to start off discussing one sync, one Lego block in the quick win sync. This is the key ingredient for all businesses across the world, the customer sync. We all have customers, right? We all have customers, we also have prospects, and we also have leads. We get emails, phone calls, messages from people wanting a price quote. That's the core of all businesses, whether you run an ice cream shop or you run a multinational distribution business. You have customers. Our first job is to get those customers synced. We aren't going to discuss your leads and your prospects and quotes and estimates. We're only going to focus on the customer sync first. So, the first sync we must talk about is to get your customers from your ERP accounting system to sync to your CRM. You need to be able to see your existing customers in your CRM, and that's all we're going to focus on first. Sure, you want to take on new customers and prospects in the CRM because that's one of the key drivers behind getting your CRM, right? You want to grow your business and you want your CRM to help you. To grow your business, you need customers. But the key to the quick win success is to start with this first step to get your ERP customers to sync with your CRM system. So sometimes people tell me, oh, we already had someone import those customers, or They say it was part of the implementation that we did with the CRM consulting company. And every time I see that, I think, wow, if only we could have saved you that time and money ahead of time with the Quick Win Sync. Even if you have imported your customer lists already into your CRM, it's okay. It just means that we need to make sure the two systems are aligned. This is something we run into every single day for the last 20 odd years. It's so common. And sometimes it can be difficult to untangle when people have grabbed lists of customers from this system and that system and the old system, and from Mike down the hall, and a list sent in an Excel spreadsheet from somebody, and it contains some prospects and some customers mingled. It's okay. Breathe. We do this all the time. So much so that we said, hey, let's make a product that does this for us. We have incorporated into our product, at no charge to you, an incredible tool to help with this task called account matching. The next thing is contacts, right? A company has many contacts, so we set up a sync for your ERP contacts. We repeat the same process as we did with accounts, but this time with contacts it's a lot simpler. You have all your customers' multiple ship address locations, so that's just another Lego brick. It's the multi-address sync. We handle that in the Quick Win Sync for you out of the gates. We then add the syncs for the rest of the Lego blocks. We have a sales order sync so that you can see the customer's past, present, and future sales orders, as well as the current status of them. If your customer asks what they ordered last week, last month, or last year, you need to be able to tell them so that you can reorder for them and see the price you charged last time, and if they have been shipped or not. All of this detail is synced to the CRM, so you can actually work with your customers and sound intelligent about their accounts. We then have the invoices and the payments sync. This sync will load all of your customers' bills and payments into the CRM system so that you can see their open and closed invoices. And by having this information, you can help a customer who has a bill to pay. You can be aware of a customer that is past due before you sell them additional products. You can check on the prices the customer previously paid. So why is this Quick Win Sync so important? The secret key to success of getting your team onto a new CRM and getting them excited about it and keeping them coming back every hour and every day is called user adoption. The best way to get user adoption is to show your team their customers and their data. Most folks don't realize it, but when we surveyed sales and customer service teams, the biggest thing they all had in common was a complaint that all of their company data was tied up and walled off in their ERP accounting system, and they couldn't get to it without using a VPN or remote desktop or emailing somebody and asking for statuses and reports. And they had to be in their offices to do this. And we all know what happened to offices and office work. We also know that one of the biggest challenges is getting user adoption. That's why there's an actual word for it in the CRM software industry to describe the phenomenon. They know that if you can't get the users to use the software, it'll be canceled shortly. Now, thank goodness we aren't talking about CRM and contact management systems of the old days. And thank goodness most of the world now prefers using computers instead of keeping paper files. So those challenges are gone. But the big challenge is getting them to be keenly interested in the new CRM system that you are putting in for them, because remember that many of them will be using their own spreadsheets for their notes and their customer tracking and whatnot. What we found was by putting the customer and the sales data into the CRM, the salespeople immediately gravitated towards it. They could actually talk intelligently with their customers about their accounts, which gives them more insight, more confidence, and makes them feel like they work for a leading company that cares about their customers. And ultimately, it all leads to more sales. Quick Win Sync is like this. It's kind of like, imagine you have a storefront, and instead of blocking the door with guards, you have a really happy salesperson who greeted this person at the front and asked, "Hey, what's your name? And you say, hey, my name's Julie. And he's like, oh, Julie, so glad you're here today at the store. What can I help you with? What are you looking for? And Julie says, oh, I'm actually going on a camping trip this weekend. And he's like, okay, so you're going on a camping trip. What are you looking for? And Julie says, well, I need a tent that I can go camping with my kids. And he's like, cool. Let me take you to the tent section. So the sales rep takes the person to the tent section. And then Julie says, you know, my husband bought a tent here last year and we really loved it, but we lost it. Can you find out which one that was? And then the salesperson is like, yeah, totally. I can get that for you. Let me look up your account and past orders. Okay, I found it. Would you like anything else with this tent? And Julie says, well, yeah, I probably need a lantern or a flashlight. And they take them there through a very customized personal sales experience. And that's what Sync enables. It allows you to take your customers through a very customized and personal step-by-step sales experience. Okay?